Welcome to Reform UK's 2026 National Canvassing Day. I'm Jeremy Carl and we are live from the top of Millbank Tower at Reform HQ. Now this afternoon we're out and about around the country, and later on we will be heading to Clacton as well as the South East. Now of course, my friends, with just 19 days to go until May's crucial local elections, we're live right across the UK, and over the next 2 hours we'll be crossing to Reform teams out on the ground in communities across the country sharing the message. Now thousands of members are already out knocking doors and making their voices heard. We've got members, supporters, MPs and special guests joining us in the next 2 hours from all corners of the United Kingdom. And the message today is simple: knock on as many doors as possible and take Reform UK's message directly to the voting public. This, my friends, is Reform UK's National Canvassing Day, and we're live. Good afternoon, my friends. Wherever you're watching, we are live from Reform UK's headquarters in central London. Just behind me, of course, it's the Palace of Westminster, home to the 650 members of Parliament who are supposed to represent the interests of ordinary people. But of course, we all know the political landscape is shifting. Recent polling shows Reform UK surging. And if that momentum continues into a general election, it would represent the most dramatic change ever in British politics. Reform UK has just a handful of MPs right now, but the party is now being talked about as a serious contender for government. Labour and the Tories, who have dominated for decades, are in real trouble, and the direction is clear. The energy is with Reform UK. Today, though, marks another major moment for this movement. This is Reform UK's second live National Canvassing Day, and it's really about knocking on as many doors as possible across the country and spreading that vital message directly to people in the UK. Today, Reform UK is one of the fastest growing political movements in the country, with membership rising rapidly week by week. That growth is not coming from anywhere. It's coming from people across the country who are stepping forward and getting involved. And to be absolutely clear, Reform UK can only achieve success on May the 7th with the help and support from people like you. And today's about building on momentum. Across the UK, from towns and cities to rural communities, hundreds of branches are out speaking to voters, knocking on doors and sharing the message and bringing new people into a movement ahead of those crucial local elections, which are just 19 days away now. And the focus, my friends, is simple: get out, have conversations and locate support. Because we all know this. Elections aren't won in Westminster, they're won on doorsteps, one conversation at a time. And today Reform UK is out in force doing that. And remember the message: vote Reform and get Starmer out. Now, before we head out and about, and goodness me, we've got loads of people, let me quickly introduce you to my studio guests. They're basically given to me to make this whole thing easier. Alex Wilson, London Assembly member, and Karen McIver, councillor from Essex. Everybody all right?
Yes, good, thank you.
Looking forward to spending the afternoon with you. Also here in the studio we have a live leaderboard running, monitoring how many doors each branch knocks on. Now, throughout the day, I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on those numbers as they climb. And here's the exciting part, very exciting. By the end of the day, the branch that signs up the most new members will win £5,000. It's a cash prize. Second will receive £2,500 and third £1,000. So it's very simple. If you're out there in a branch, it really is all to play for. It is your moment now. Get out there, get knocking, and let's see those numbers that you've just seen soar. OK, that's really important. Let's take a look at where we are today. Now, there are stalls set up in marketplaces up and down the land. Reform UK's Shadow Home Secretary Zia Youssef, he is in Croydon. Lyndon Kemcaron is in Bexley. Layla Cunningham, Reform UK's London mayoral candidate, will be connecting us from Havering. We'll be speaking to the MP for Romford, Andrew Rossendale, in his neighbouring constituency to Clacton. And of course, the leader of Reform UK, Nigel Farage, will be joining us just after 2 o'clock this afternoon. We'll head north to the Midlands. Richard Tice will be dialing in with members there. We'll head south to Runcorn and Helsby, and the Reform UK MP Sarah Pochin is doing her business there. And in the northeast, from Durham, we'll have Darren Grimes, and the leader of Durham County Council, Andrew Husband. But let's just take a moment, because everybody's running around. Let's just talk briefly to my two studio guests. We'll start with Karen McIver, councillor from Essex. What does today mean for the reform movement, Karen?
Well, I think everybody just needs to get out there, make themselves known. Canvassing is a great part of being part of this reform movement. I think a lot of people like you to speak to them. They're waiting for you to knock on the door, especially in towns and communities. You know, when we're out and about, people come to us, they're pleased to see you, and they want to share your message. So I urge everybody to just get involved. It's great fun.
It's true what I said in that opening, Andrew, isn't it, that actually elections are won by canvassing. A lot of people, you'll see polls and you'll hear people's opinions and see stuff in the news and newspapers, but connecting on the doorstep is essentially the most important part of politics, isn't it?
It's absolutely crucial. We saw in the general election where we had a very strong, positive kind of national message and air war, and that got us into contention for a number of parliamentary seats. But to take that next crucial step forwards, it's about those local grassroots campaigns. It's the branch network, which has been set up over the last sort of 18 months, is now delivering huge progress for the party. It's that that's giving us the candidates to stand, because without being on the ballot paper, you can't win a thing. There's 5,000 seats there or thereabouts up for grabs in these local elections. We're standing in 99.99% of wards, only 2 wards missing out in the whole country. So near enough everybody's got the chance to vote for us. That's because the branches are doing that work on the ground. But yeah, you're right, canvassing, doorstepping, speaking to people, asking about their concerns and explaining what we stand for, that's the most important part of this campaign, and it's why we did so well in the local elections last year, and hopefully why we'll do well again this year.
Just very quickly, a reminder, if you're watching this and you're wondering how you can get involved, download that Reform Go app. You can link in them with the local branch. You can do it via that app or, of course, by email. It is about joining up and getting involved and getting out there and doing the business. So, as I said, we'll be all across the UK. Just some news, of course, and a bit of background. The end of February, you'll know, saw the start of the US-Iran war. Since then, we've seen fuel prices rocket. The price of a litre of unleaded at the pumps rose from, I guess it was about £1.37 in March to nearly £1.90 now. And for diesel, yesterday when I filled up, it was £2. Reform UK's Shadow Chancellor Robert Jenrick joined Nigel at an independent filling station in Derbyshire to launch Reform Refuel, where for the day, one petrol station knocked 25p off a litre of fuel. Here's a quick reminder.
Cheapest fuel in the country. Come on, roll up, roll up.
When we're here in Derbyshire to send a very strong message to Rachel Reeves, this is the worst possible moment to be hiking fuel duty. We're going to fight it every step of the way.
These taxes are put on by politicians who don't fill up their own cars or who ride bicycles in North London. A total lack of understanding, particularly for those that need their cars, their vans for work, from taxing the motorist, from taxing the commercial vehicle, through to being self-sufficient as much as we can in oil and gas. The idiotic policies started by the Conservatives are now being made even worse by Ed Miliband, are hurting ordinary people.
This is just the beginning of the work that we're going to be doing in the weeks and months ahead. Reform is on your side, and a reform government is going to bring down your bills.
Welcome back. I think, Karen, just bringing you in, you're talking about knocking on the doors and understanding people's needs. The fuel hike is costing so many people, and I'm not just actually talking about people who use for leisure. I'm talking about people who use their vehicles for work and find it increasingly difficult to get out and about.
It affects everybody. You know, mums driving their children to school. All families are affected by this. The cost of living is awful. And this is just making it harder and harder for people. And it can change. You know, Reform are offering lots of, ideas that the government could actually take on board now, and they're not, you know.
When you are out and about as well, Andrew, cost of living, the payment of bills, the increased stresses on everyday people, they're just huge, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely, and they have been for a while. You know, we saw the after effects of lockdown was initially gave us that rampant inflation, and we're still facing that cost of living crisis now. But we also have a cost of government crisis, and that's an integral part of it. Just talking about fuel, over half of what you pay at the pump is tax. So if Rachel Reeves really wanted to ease the burden on motorists filling up their cars, and people drive their cars not just because they want to, because they need to, whether it's going to work, whether it's taking the family out, whether it's doing the shopping. It's an essential part of being
life.
Of life.
To be fair.
The economy, society, and real life. And if she wanted to help, she could. It's within her gift to do that. That's why we want to cut fuel tax, because it will take the pressure off ordinary people that rely on those cars every single day. But across the board, tax is too high. We've got the highest tax burden since the war, and it's stifling the economy, and it's got to stop. And there's only one way to change that, and that's getting Robert Jenrick as Chancellor, Reform UK, into government.
If you are just tuning in, it is, of course, our second national campaign day. It's canvassing day here from Reform UK. I'm Jeremy Carr. We're live from the top of the tower here in London, but we're out and about across the UK. And the great thing about today is whatever branch you are in, the one that knocks on the most doors will win that prize. It'll be announced tomorrow on the socials. 5,000 for the leader. We'll show the leaderboard. I want to go out and about, though. We've got such a busy day. Let's go live to Romford. I feel like I'm on sort of election night. Andrew Rossendale, the Reform UK MP for Romford. A very good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Hello, good afternoon, Jeremy. Great to be on your show. I'm not in Romford, we're in Braintree. We're campaigning. We're campaigning out into Essex.
Do you know what, my friend?
To win for Reform.
Good man. It says Romford. I'll take that. I'll take that. You're in Braintree. What a lovely place. Listen, my friend, just give me some idea, Andrew, of just the excitement today amongst branches, because I think politically what will happen is, as I said earlier, we'll read stuff in the newspapers, so we see the high-profile MPs, but it's people on the ground that do the work for all sorts of political parties. How are the people of Essex, Romford, Braintree, wherever you are, how are they reacting today, Andrew?
It's fantastic. So everywhere I'm going, I've been in Havering yesterday, in Romford today, I've been in Witham, Braintree this afternoon. Later I'm going over to Hertfordshire. Everywhere I go, it's the same message. They want change, they want reform, and they want to get rid of Keir Starmer. And there's a great mood wherever I'm going. People that some people have never even voted before, but this time they're going reform. Conservatives voting reform, Labour supporters now going reform. I think there's a big change about to occur. And we've got a fantastic team here today, out in Braintree, and we're going to win Essex County Council on the 7th of May.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Look at all that enthusiasm behind you. It's smart as carrots, all got their ties on and their rosettes. Lady at the back in her glasses waving. It is what we were saying at the top of this show, though, Andrew, isn't it? That actually national politics is one thing, local people on the ground. There's this wonderful opportunity for the branch that knocks on the most doors today to win that cash prize. And it's really saying to people, you know, politics is at your fingertips, and this movement wants you to be part of it. And that's what this is about, isn't it?
100%. I think the old parties no longer seem to have really in touch with people at grassroots level, and I think reform is different. Reform is about real people in the real world dealing with local issues in our communities, and we're building up a strong organisation in every constituency, and we want to get politics back to grassroots again and actually represent what the people think rather than what the people up in Whitehall are telling us to think. So reform's a breath of fresh air for this country, and I think the epicentre of the success for reform will be here in Essex on the 7th of May.
Most definitely.
Good man, Andrew, and to all the people there, get at it. Don't forget, the branch that knocks on the most doors will win that £5,000. That's a cash prize, and will be announced tomorrow on the socials. But thank you very much indeed. Romford's MP, a Reform MP for Romford, but actually in Braintree in Essex. Look at him, smart as carrots on a Saturday afternoon. Andrew Rossendale. Thank you very much indeed. Good luck this afternoon, people. Get knocking. Thank you so much indeed. And just by the way, to remind you, if you're tuning in, wherever you are in the UK, download the Reform Go app. I came in today and they said, have you downloaded it? I thought, I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't even understand stuff like that. And that's a really important point. If you want to find out more, if you don't, that's your business. But if you do want to find out more, download the Reform Go app right now. It'll link in with your local branch. You can do it via that app and find out more if you want to get involved. I don't even know what time it is. We're rushing through this. Andrew, I have to say something about Andrew Wilson. I mean, Alex Wilson. I have to say about this man. And we've talked many times before. You've been elected in the London Assembly since, 2024? I'd love you to just tell us briefly what it's like and what you've learnt about trying to hold Sadiq Khan to account for the last years. Have you learnt patience, dear boy?
Well, I think you have to. He's just like the Prime Minister. He very rarely answers a direct question with a direct answer. He's very slippery, very experienced at doing what he's doing. But unfortunately, his record in his administration in London is a shocking one. Whether you look at the fact that it's the most expensive and most difficult city to get on the housing ladder, whether that's for both purchase or rent, it's the most congested city in Europe, and of course on crime and policing, it's completely out of control. With the mobile phone theft hotspot of Europe, 100,000 phones stolen on London streets in the last year alone, rape reported every hour. Burglaries, only about 2% of domestic burglaries ever result in a court summons or a charge. So that record is shocking. And not to forget, of course, the knife crime epidemic. In the last 3 years, the use of stop and search on London streets has halved, and it's no wonder we've got record levels of knife crime. The two are very, very closely related. So that's what we're up against. So Keith and I, in the Assembly, we challenge him on a regular basis. We do the best we can, but the only way we can really change politics in London is to get Khan out. It starts by these crucial local elections on the 7th of May. There are 1,817 seats up for grabs across the 32 London boroughs. Reform is standing right across the board, and we are the challengers to Labour. We're going to knock out the Conservatives as well. Want to show that a different London is possible, and it's possible with reform.
Karen, just for you, as a locally motivated person to be part of this reform movement, one of the things that I hear repeatedly from people is that politicians of all sides, and I'm steering a middle course deliberately here, have made promises forever and failed miserably. Why is reform in your mind different? Why is Farage different? Why is this movement different?
People trust in Nigel. And I also think that reform around the country, we're having ordinary people, not career politicians, coming up and stepping up for their country, their communities, their family. And I think that's a really positive thing, and people are really buying into that. They trust us. Unfortunately, politicians have lost their trust. You know, when we talk to people in the street or knock on doors, they've lost their trust. They just feel like everybody's the same. Well, in reform, we're not. We're a new party, and we're doing things differently. Nigel is, every single person I speak to wants to talk to Nigel, wants to meet Nigel. Nigel's doing just such great work, and the leadership team in raising reform's profile everywhere. And you know, the more people speak, the more the ordinary people get involved, us normal people get involved in politics, the more people are aligned to it. They see somebody that can represent them. I look at the front bench, particularly at the moment, and I don't see anybody that's in tune with me. And I think people feel disengaged with politics. So I think that reform are giving people hope, and that's what we're all trying to do. We're trying to give people hope that we can fight for our country, we can fight for our families, and we can fight for our community, and we can get fairness back, Jeremy.
Is Nigel one of those politicians that people gravitate to, of all backgrounds, all ages? I mean, let's be honest, his message has been consistent for 25 years. I don't think anybody can say that in politics that's in politics right now. But more than that, he's this sort of figure, but that people want to gravitate to. But today, as a canvassing day, today as a day where, you know, the local branches have to get out and about, you've also got to, in a way, excuse the pun, touch the local people and make them realise that this is achievable and near to them, because I think people feel disenfranchised, don't they, in Great Britain?
They really do, but you know, we love our country. I mean, people like myself have stepped forward. I've been involved with reform for 18 months. We love our country, and we want to, you know, it's a funny old slogan, we want to get our country back, but we actually do. We want the good times to come back. You know, we have family. I've got my own children, nieces and nephews. I have a granddaughter now. I want their future to be...
A granddaughter?
I do, and she's amazingly gorgeous.
I've got two grandkids. They're feeling very old. Look at old Alex smiling over there, yeah.
But this is why,
I've just got two dogs, it's much easier.
Really? I have a lovely dog too. But this is our reason for doing it, you know. We're patriots, we love our country, we love the UK, and we're also kind people. We want to help people that we feel we're being abused.
I just want to give you an insight this afternoon as well as to the sorts of messages that Reform are talking about to the British public. Part of one of the most important things for Reform about fixing Britain, Robert Jenrick, the party's shadow chancellor, joined leader Nigel Farage at Heathrow. This was earlier earlier this month. Together, they then announced, under a Reform government, how they'd reduce taxes on air travel. This is really interesting. Take a look, my friends.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Heathrow Airport. The government net zero policies are damaging the pockets of absolutely everybody. Families aren't just hit with domestic fuel bills, aren't just hit with filling up their car, they're also hit with going on their summer holidays.
We are the only party that is truly committed to cutting the cost of living. That's why we're announcing today that a Reform government in our first budget will get rid of the family holiday tax. Air passenger duty will be gone for short haul. That will save a family, on average, £45 on their flights. For example, as a family to Malaga, you would save 23% on the cost of your flights. Now, we appreciate that's not a huge amount of money, but it's an important saving that will make it just a bit easier to have that family trip, to have a bit of fun, to get away and spend time with your loved ones. So whilst we're cutting it at Reform on the 1st of April, April Fool's Day of course, Rachel Reeves is hiking this same tax. That's the difference between Reform and this Labour government. We're going to cut taxes, cut your bills and cut the cost of living. Thank you very much indeed.
Welcome back to the top of the tower, Reform HQ in London. My name is Jeremy Kyle. I'm here with several guests. We're just talking and heading out and about across the country. Got a live leaderboard. Don't forget, by the way, the branch that knocks on the most doors, there will be a winner, okay? £5,000 is a cash prize. Second, £2,500. The third, £1,000. Look at this. I feel like I'm doing one of those things. Election. Live leaderboard, St Helens North. Look at that. 1,136 doors. Long way ahead of Pontefract, Castleford and Nottingley. 680. Montgomery and Glindwire. 671. I hope I got it right. Milton Keynes Central in fourth, avoiding those wonderful roundabouts. And St Helens South and Wiston. 618. The rest of the country. What are you doing? St Helens North and South. They're up. We're all over you, mate. Get out there. Don't forget, and I mean this, it's about canvassing today. It's about getting out there and speaking and knocking on as many doors as possible as a prize for your branch if you manage to overhaul St Helens North. £5,000. They're in the box seat right now. And don't forget as well, this is a useful tool. If you want to get involved and you're watching this live on YouTube across the UK, many different forms, download that Reform Go app. That's Reform Go, as in go. And it'll tell you everything, how you can link up to a local branch and how you can get involved if that is what you want. We're going to go live now. This is brilliant for me. We're heading to Britain's second city where Richard Tice, Reform UK's deputy leader, shadow business, trade and energy secretary, has got more jobs than anybody I've ever met. Richard Tice, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, Jeremy. It's fantastic to be on your show. Amazingly, here in the Brunswick Inn in Wednesbury, lots and lots of Reform candidates and supporters. People actually listen to your show, Jeremy. I mean, it's quite astounding. And we've been out and about this morning in Wednesbury, incredible response, absolutely outstanding, the support. We did go to a few pubs and we've got an amazing support there, including the Spoons and others, which was great. On the High Street, Florist, shop, outstanding. Then over to West Brom. I'm just blown away, actually, Jeremy, seriously, by the support here in the West Midlands for Reform. And I've got some news for you, Jezza. That is that here at Wednesbury, in the last furlong this afternoon, they are up for that prize of £5,000 to knock on the most doors. These good folk, they're going to be out there, knocking on doors, canvassing, getting those votes. We want to win that prize, Jezza.
You've got to understand something, Wednesbury, about Tice, right? He's a competitive animal. And if you think he's going to leave there today and not imagine that he expects you to come first, you've got a major problem. You're looking very trim, the Tice man. There you're having a go at me. I'm going to be very nice to you today. I'm being very, very professional, my friend. On a serious note, you're right. Getting out there and touching the flesh, shaking the hands, knocking on doors and getting the vibe of people is what this National Canvassing Day is all about. Because so many people are saying to us already, Richard, that the politics is centralised via newspaper and television and London and Westminster and all of that. any movement that's going to work has to go out and spread the message, and that's what Reform is doing today. And look at them all. Wave your banners. Try and look lively, you lot. Wave your banners at me. Go and have a wave. Look, wave your banners. Look at that. Look at that. They move. They're real people, Richard. Look. Oh, hold on. Hold on.
Are you there,
I
Jezza?
can't
This
hear
is
Richard
Ken.
Tice now. We've managed to lose Richard. Oh, he's there.
Am I here? Because you've got to meet Ken. It's Ken's pub, the Brunswick Inn. Fantastic. Sort of the heart of Wednesbury, heart of the community. Great pub. How long have you had this pub for, Ken? 8 years. 8 years. Absolutely fantastic. And now it's like a reform pub. I mean, it's just outstanding. And what's the best-selling beer at the moment? Carling. Carling? Retro. Yeah. There we are. You see Carling Retro. Delicious. You know me, Jezza. I'm a bit of a Guinness man myself, but it's incredible. And I'm just blown away by this. Also, the fury amongst voters out and about the waste of money around councils, both here at Sandwell, but also elsewhere. And people know that we've been running those councils properly, that we've already been in control of, and they know that we can do it because we're the party of common sense, the party of business, the party of getting stuff done. And that's the remarkable thing, talking to all these brilliant candidates, canvassers. We're very excited, Jezza, and we're going to win.
It's interesting. You've obviously shown yourself up today to be a person who likes to drink. That's another show, though. We won't talk about that. But what's really interesting to see you out and about, and I do mean this, Richard, is as I said, I think the grassroots support for this movement is so important, and it needs acknowledging, and it needs encouraging, and it needs touching in the nicest possible way so that people do not see politicians as just, revered figures that they don't meet. That's one of the pulls. We were just talking with Karen here about Nigel. People want to meet Nigel. Surprisingly, Richard Tice, people want to meet you as well, which is in itself quite shocking. But I'll let you finish off because you are the man, Richard Tice.
It is actually, it's shocking. You are very rude there, Jezza. But I was able to confirm earlier that Ringate, that slight problem earlier in the year, has been resolved, thanks to you, Jezza. And but no, there's lots and lots of enthusiasm for reform, for common sense. Our fantastic candidates here. Give Jezza a big wave, everyone. Back to you in the studio, Jezza. Thanks very much indeed. We love you all.
Richard Tice. Good man, Richard Tice, live there in Wednesbury at a Reform pub with all the candidates and all the supporters, and a man who's just admitted on these channels that it was down to me that he finally bought that engagement ring. But there we go. Karen, Alex, back with you. It's interesting watching, isn't it? I mean, I know there's, you've got a delay while you connect to people, but all across this country, people are taking part. That must make you both feel very invested in this.
You can so relate to it, you can so relate to that branch setup because, there's 450 plus branches now, I think, throughout the country. So many people are getting involved, and I think when they do come into the branch, they're so welcomed. It's fun. Nigel always says, make this fun. Enjoy what you're doing, and I think there's a prime example of that branch having a good time today, whilst doing the canvassing and getting the serious message, the serious work done. They're also having fun, and it's team spirit, and it's great.
Do you think, Alex? This is just a sort of an observation by me. Do you think that I don't even need to make this political? I'm making this sort of personal. Do you think that politicians, you talked about lack of trust and people have been let down. I sort of feel that people want politicians now who tell it like it is and might make a mistake or misspeak once or have a part. I don't know. I just think we've been so used to people saying, I'm perfect, I'm squeaky clean, everything's great, and then something happens and something comes out. Nobody's perfect, nobody's squeaky clean. And meeting normal, everyday people who go through the same stuff that everybody else does, I think that works as well, that you're not saying, I'm better than you, I'm one of you, I'm just on this journey with you. Is that what you try and say when you're out and about?
Absolutely. I mean, people find it a lot easier to relate to ordinary people who share the same concerns, face the same issues and are having the same problems. You don't want a load of party clone politicians. you want ordinary people standing up for their community and their family, and that's what we get in Reform, in our branch meetings. Nigel calls us happy warriors, because it's really important stuff that we're doing. We're trying to save the country, trying to save our local councils, but at the same time, we like to have a bit of fun as well. And you've got to, because that way you get people coming back for more.
Isn't that the only way you get through this madness, though, in all seriousness? I mean, I'm not saying there isn't a serious side to this, and there always should be.
Yes.
Because, trying to achieve becoming a government, I'm sure your party has to be taken seriously, but warts and all is all right, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you want people to come back and enjoy. You want people to come to the branch meetings. You want people to get involved. So
feel part of it.
Exactly, and that's what it is. It's one team, one dream. We've all got the same goal at the end of it. We all want a reform government and Nigel to be our Prime Minister. So, it's the team spirit.
Yeah.
You really feel it. And I go to lots of branches around the country, and we're all the same sort of people. It's great. It's great, and we're all, like I said, one team, one dream. We're all following the same sort of journey.
One team, one dream.
We're on the same journey.
If you are, Karen McCarver, brilliant, if you are out there and you are in a branch, don't forget this amazing competition today. We are asking all of the branches to try and get the most numbers of knocks on doors. At the moment, you saw on the live leaderboard just now, I think St Helens North are winning. It's a £5,000 prize. £2.5 for second, £1,000 for third. We'll announce it on the socials tomorrow. We're back there with that list again. St Helens North, way in front.
Wow.
What are the rest of you doing? St Helens North are absolutely creaming this. They're going to get £5,000. That Richard Tyson needs to get Wednesbury Council. Get out, knock on doors, spread the message. There's the live leaderboard. Honestly, what's happening here? St Helens South in 5th, St Helens North. Can anybody take the £5,000 from St Helens North? It's down to you, okay? Announced tomorrow on the socials. And also, the message is clear. If you are tuning in and you're thinking, yeah, but Jez, I want to get involved, but I don't know how to, download that Reform Go app. Do it right now. It'll give you more. Let's go to Kent Reform's UK leader of Kent County Council, Lyndon Karen. Good afternoon. How are you?
Are you there?
I am there. All I can say, there seems to be a theme here. There seems to be a theme here. You've got a drink as well, and Tice was talking about the beer. All I've got is bloody water. What's going on? Now she's frozen. You see, she's gone outside with her drink, and oh no, she's back. Oh, you're back.
I'm back. Is that all right?
No, signal's not great, I'm afraid. Yeah, don't move, whatever you do, the joys of the internet. You've got all your supporters behind you. Look at them all standing there, proud as punch with their banner. I've been on telly with my barrow, look at that. Wave them all, people, wave them, do what you can, look at that. Oh, look, there we go. Listen, Lyndon, it's not great. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We'll come back to you in a bit if we can get a better connection. I think that is probably a good way to do. This is... Absolutely. Let me just say to people watching, right, I'm the coolest person in the world, because this happens all the time. Technology is technology. People are trying to join in and Zooms don't work and lines go down. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to say something else now that's a Reform idea. We'll see if we can get Lyndon back. One of the measures in Reform UK's manifesto, and this I have to say will be of interest to a lot of people, is to try and protect your pension. Shadow Chancellor Robert Jenrick held a press conference recently to explain just how Reform would stop the Labour taxes on the older generation. Have a look, my friends.
Labour will chip away at your pension. Reform will protect it. Nigel Farage will protect Britain's pensions. Credibly commit to keep the triple lock. We are the only party with the backbone to cut the tens and tens of billions of waste every year. Under Reform and Nigel Farage, your pension will always rise each year, with either inflation, average earnings, or by 2.5%, whichever of those three figures is the highest. We can only make the commitment today because we will cut tens and tens of billions of pounds of taxpayers' money the government wastes every year. The scale of all this waste is actually hard to conceive. Millions of pensioners, and in fact people in their late 50s and early 60s, are genuinely worried at the moment. They've paid in for 30 or 40 years, but they look at the debt that successive governments have racked up. They look at Labour borrowing left, right and centre, just like the Conservatives did, and they fear something's got to give. They fear this government, maybe soon led by Angela Rayner or Ed Miliband, backed up by Zach Polanski, will pull the rug from under them, will erode, chip away at the pension that they've worked and paid into for their whole life. And they're right to be worried. Well, under reform, it will be different. We will protect pensioners. We've already identified over 40 billion of savings a year. We'll end universal credit for foreign nationals. We'll cut foreign aid. We'll stop spurious mental health claims for PIP. We'll scrap the net zero schemes. We'll cut Whitehall excess because we're the only party that won't duck the most difficult decisions. We will reset government spending so that it actually puts the British people first. So yes, we will balance the books, but we won't do it on the backs of British people who've paid in their whole lives. Instead, we'll save tens of billions by resetting government spending. Politics is about choices, and we in Reform choose the British people, and we will every time.
That was Robert Jenrick talking about how this party wants to protect, if it's elected, the older generation. Welcome back. It's just gone 1:30 Saturday afternoon. It's our second National Canvassing Day. We're live from the top of the tower. Our Millbank HQ, my name's Jeremy Kyle. In the studio, we've got Karen McIver. We've got Alex Wilson as well from the London Assembly. More from them in a minute. But I'm going to click my fingers and hope that technologically it's going to be better. Let's go back to the leader of Kent County Council, Lyndon Karen. Good afternoon.
Yay! We're here, Jeremy. Sorry about that earlier.
I know what you were doing. You were heading into that garden for another drink and probably a cigarette. Anyway, Lyndon, welcome along. Thank you so much indeed. Give the people watching an idea, because today is about going all around the country and trying to say to all the branches, get out there, knock on doors. And what's come out so far is that touching the flesh and meeting people locally is the absolute lifeblood of politics, isn't it?
It really is, Jeremy. We've been out this morning. I think we've knocked on about 300 doors just in a few hours here in Bexley. We've had an amazing reception on the doorstep. I've been speaking to people who are just so fed up with the state the country is in. They're desperate for change. They're absolutely desperate for people just like us, ordinary people. None of us is a career politician. We're ordinary people who felt compelled to stand as candidates in these local elections to take over our local councils and stop the madness that's been happening. I mean, just here in Bexley, where the Tories have been in control for many years, they've got a debt of £227 million. That is costing a weekly sum of about £23,000 in just interest payments alone. I mean, it's absolutely ludicrous what's happened to local authorities. I've been running Kent County Council for almost a year now, and I can tell you it is possible to turn these failing councils around. All you need is a bit of gumption, a bit of belief in what you're doing and why you're doing it, and a bit of backbone, Jeremy, a bit of backbone. I can tell you all these wonderful people behind me here at the Royal Oak Pub in Bexley, they've got backbone in spades. I can tell you that for nothing.
Yeah.
It's interesting as well watching. Oh, look, yeah, they've all had a drink, backbone, yeah. There's alcohol associated with all of this. Look, she's doing it again, she's having a drink. Karen's having a sip. It's really interesting as well. I want to ask a question that I haven't asked anybody before. You talk about we're getting the branches to go and knock on those doors, we're offering this prize. What do you do as a politician? You've led Kent County Council for a year, as you said. What do you do on the doorsteps when you meet a detractor or somebody who isn't interested? Do you hang around and try and change them? Are they open to change? Or is it sort of very much love it or hate it? Or is there a middle ground with Reform UK, do you think?
Well, I think that's what I love about knocking on doors. You never know what you're going to get when that door is opened. Mostly we get lovely, friendly people who are very happy to stand and chat. Occasionally you get somebody who just says no thanks and slams the door in your face. Not always as polite as no thanks, I can tell you that as well. Sometimes you get somebody who is quite curious, who doesn't know what our policies are, who doesn't know really what Reform stands for. They might have seen our detractors in the press talking about how terrible we all are, how racist we are. We're not racist at all. And it's interesting because some people genuinely want to find out more. And those are the conversations I really enjoy. I was out with 3 others this morning, and we had several people who really wanted just to chat And I think we came away feeling quite happy. You know, they'd found something out, we'd managed to get our message across. You know, it's a really nice way to spend a morning, actually.
I think that's a really salient point, just from sitting here and listening to all these people across the UK, is that, you know, if you step away from it, as I do, a lot of people would say, oh, Reform UK, they've got one policy, they talk about immigration, but actually knocking on the doors today, you're able to, and we've been showing it in the VTs about the petrol prices, we're talking about air travel insurance as well, is to actually get out there, as you just said, and say to people, look, this is what we do in this instance, this is what we do in that instance, and to not almost, I suppose, Linda, make promises that can't be fulfilled, because that's the feeling you get all across the UK, whatever your political persuasion, is that the British public, the electorate, just feel let down, don't they? They feel let down by failed promises for so long. There's a degree of cynicism, and the other reason about branches getting out there and knocking on doors is because there's apathy in the United Kingdom right now, isn't it? And a day like this tries to dispel that apathy, right?
I've never seen it so bad, actually, on the doorstep. I've been knocking on doors for probably about 8 or 10 years. And I've never seen people so dispirited and so lacking in hope and enthusiasm. I think this Keir Starmer government has basically killed off any hope that British people may have had a few years ago, that things might actually get better. A lot of us are old enough to remember the 1970s. That comes across a lot on the doorsteps. People say, I remember the terrible times of the socialists being in charge in the 70s. We are going back there again. And I happen to agree. I think at the moment people, they're facing their living costs going up daily. You know, a basket of shopping has probably doubled in price as compared to a few years ago. It's costing them more to fill up their cars. The potholes in the roads aren't being fixed, certainly in this area, not yet anyway. When reform gets in, they certainly will be fixed. You know, antisocial behaviour is up. Shoplifting is a real concern to people. You know, everywhere you look, there are problems that people are utterly, utterly sick of. And I think hopefully when we knock on the door, you know, we're nice, cheerful, normal people. We knock on the door and we're offering a bit of hope. We're saying we're ordinary people just like you. We're not in it for ourselves. We're in it because we really believe we can make a difference. We need to win councils. We need to start changing policies. We need to start, you know, putting things in action to actually improve people's lives. That's the kind of message we're bringing when we knock on those doors today.
Lyndon, great. Just before we leave you at the Royal Oak, what have you got in that drink? Is it gin? Is it water? Are you being professional? What is your tipple today, having learnt from Tice what he's having? What is your tipple?
Well, I've gone large today, Jeremy. I've gone for lime and lemonade.
Wow. Blimey, you need to drop a bit of vodka or gin into that. Have a great afternoon, Lyndon and the gang down there in Bexley. Keep it going. Thank you very much indeed. And do not forget, the noise in my ear. Don't forget, all branches, I'm calling you out now, all branches. However many doors you can knock on today, you stand the chance to win that fantastic prize, £5,000. We'll announce the winner tomorrow on the socials. Second, I mean, what is second? £2.5 grand. Hardly worth it, is it? Kira's sitting at the side being very wonderful. 1,000 for third, so it's about knocking on the doors. Who's going to knock the most? Also, just watching Lyndon there as well, I just want to repeat this. I'm going to say it all day, okay? If you're not in a branch, if you're watching this at home, if you come across this, and maybe, as I said to you, you're one of those cynics who goes, yeah, but what does reform stand for? Maybe you will be a reformer, maybe you won't be. If you want to find out more, Reform Go. It's an app. You can download it. Why did I do that? That's how you download an app. You two are laughing at me, Alex and Karen. They'll be here. Now, later on the show, obviously the big bit, we'll be going live to Clacton to speak to the leader of Reform UK, Nigel Farage. He'll be joined by members, supporters and activists. This, though, is a live shot, my friends, of the location in Clacton. Will be joining us later on. And as I said, oh, look at that. Do you think is that a bouncy castle? No, there's the Reform bus there. He'll be there, the main man in Clacton later. And remember, download the Reform Go app from your app store now, wherever you get it, because Nigel Farage will be there. Kids having a fight, lovely. He'll be there from 2 o'clock this afternoon. What time is it? It's 20 minutes away from Nigel Farage joining us here on our live feed on this second ever Reform UK National Canvassing Day. We're live from the top of the tower. Makes it sound like I'm on a radio station. Karen McIver, Reform UK's Epping Forest branch. Secretary, is that right?
Yep.
It's quite a mouthful. And Alex Wilson, AM. What does that stand for? You're only good in the mornings? What does that mean?
Assembly member.
What?
Assembly member.
Oh, and the leader of Reform UK in the London Assembly. He likes to laugh. The reason you're the leader is because no other bugger's been elected. That's the truth, isn't it?
Well,
No, I'm
I've
joking.
got a friend now. Keith joined us.
Oh,
as
you've
well,
got
yeah.
so this, and did you keep the leadership? Do you argue amongst the two?
No, we get on very well. We go back a long time, and
I know you do. Just looking at Lyndon there in Bexley,
Yeah.
she's taken an interesting angle there. I thought, just like so many other people, saying I'm in this for this reason. And actually spreading the word is really, really important. I asked her, I'll ask you, how do you deal with detractors when they say, nah, get out of here? Do you hang around? Are people interested, or is it very black and white? Is it yes or no?
No,
Is there middle ground?
There's a lot of maybes.
Yeah?
There's a lot of maybes.
What's the maybe based
They're
on?
the ones I really like. For me personally, they're the ones I really like
Right.
to talk to, because they listen to certain media who are so against reform, so they're putting us down all the time, so you can correct them on what they're hearing, because we all know in the world of social media and the craziness of all of that, there's so many wrong messages, so we can correct them on the right messages. And I explain to people, I just say, you know, I'm an ordinary lady. I'm a mum. I've had my career, you know, and
What motivated you to reform seriously? Ultimately?
it was what really made me come over was a shocking incident that happened in Stockport with those little girls at that Taylor Swift party, and I just thought, I've got to do something. We were getting let down by the Conservatives. I would never be a Labour voter ever, and so I came over to reform. It's the best thing I ever done. I've really engaged in politics. I absolutely love it. I'm quite a strong lady anyway, and I think I'm fair and reasonable, and I just like to spread that message. I align with reform on, you know, the manifesto. Everything aligns with me.
The contract.
Yeah, as particularly family, you know, the family, community, the country. I'm a very patriotic lady. I love my country. I'm proud of my country. Anywhere I travel, I'm proud to be from London. I'm just, you know, I love what I've got, and I want people to feel the same.
Do you think, Alex, and I really take what Karen's saying about, you know, this is me speaking as an individual. I'm 60. I've got more children than Boris Johnson.
I'm not 60 yet, by the way.
Brilliant, fantastic. You've made me feel terrible now. I'm the oldest person in the room. In fact, if we had Alex and you and Kira together, I'm still older than all of you. But the point I'm trying to make is to many this country is unrecognisable, and to many one thing that has been broken down is the community and family. I was brought up, it was about family values. We sat and at dinner together, we watched television together. It all seems to be fractured. Karen makes a really good point about social media. And I guess the great thing about a day like this is, you know, you're going to meet a local reform councillor, they're going to knock on your door, and you're going to find out in their entirety what the message is. You're not going to read it on social media or some mainstream media channel or whatever. You're going to be able to make your own judgment, and that's all you can ask of people, isn't it? You can't ask any more than just being given the opportunity to say what you're about.
Absolutely, and politics is about argument, about disagreement, and if we all thought the same on every issue, then life would be dull. So, you know, people have to have that opportunity to have that robust debate and discussion. And the best way of doing that is face-to-face. It's those individual conversations, you know, doorstep by doorstep. And some people will support you, some people won't. Some people are in the middle, genuinely interested. Some people just want to waste your time, and you have to move on and you know, gather the next bit of data. But the whole
you have to be strong-skinned to be one of these branch people out and about canvassing.
I think one thing I've always said about politics and being involved in politics is take the job deadly seriously, because it is deadly serious. We're trying to save the country. But don't take yourself too seriously personally. And have a bit of a thick skin. And sometimes the personal comments, they just have to, you know, shrug them off. But ultimately, we're doing this because we care about our country and our communities, our local areas, and that's what branches up and down the country are doing. It's great to see Bexley there. They're one of our strongest branches in London. I was canvassing there just a couple of weeks ago, and the response I got on the doorstep there was the best I've had in all the sort of 25 plus years I've been doing politics and campaigning. It was a really, really good prospect for us there. Looking forward to the results. And also, if I can just give a shout out to the West Midlands, where you were with, where you were chatting to Richard earlier. Birmingham always gets lots of the headlines, and in some cases rightly so, the chaos of the bin strike and so on. But there's another half a dozen or so councils in the West Midlands up for grabs as well. Wolverhampton, Sandwell, Dudley, Walsall, Solihull. And if I can give a huge congratulations to Coventry City, last night returning to the Premiership. See, I'm wearing my Coventry tie.
Are you a Coventry City fan?
They're my second team. Colchester is my first team.
You can't have two teams,
but,
that's ludicrous.
I lived there for 3 years.
Super, Frankie. Frank Lampard, we've got to give him a shout.
It's a great city. They've done very, very well. Back in the top flight, and let's hope the Sky Blues can win on May the 7th as well.
Honestly, was he trying to make it about Coventry City? But yeah, anyway. Right, are we able to go now to the main man? One of the main men, are we able to do that? Chris in my ear, we are live, and we're fingers crossed it's working. We're going to Croydon too. My good friend Zia Youssef, Reform UK's Shadow Home Secretary. Zia, good afternoon, my friend. How are you?
Good afternoon. I am fantastic, thank you very much. I am right here in the lovely, lovely Croydon with our amazing, amazing reform activists who've been knocking on doors all morning asking people to vote reform, and there you go.
Honestly, Zia, you've outdone everybody, man. You've got a chant going on. I was saying earlier, there's this fantastic competition for all the branches to win money, to how many people knock on doors, and I know your lot are doing the business. For you, we talk an awful lot, and I see you doing all sorts of interviews. Being out and about, seeing the support for reform on the ground, touching the flesh, pressing the flesh is absolutely what today is all about. And it's all about pushing this movement forward, right, my friend?
That's exactly right. As I was just saying to the team, you know, people really notice, voters really notice in local elections whether a party has actually taken the time to knock on their door and deliver a leaflet. And I know that because I get a lot of correspondence, I get emails, I get DMs, I'm sure, just like you. And so people really, really appreciate it. They note when somebody's making an effort because it sends a signal to them. It sends a clear message that we care. We're here, we care about local issues. We're going to work our socks off for you, not just to get elected, but then to do the right thing as best we can after potential elections. And I'd say the other really important thing that we've got to tell people is that we've got to make sure that people understand how important these elections are, because these elections ultimately are going to be probably the second most important election in this country's history, other than the general election itself. Because this is a way of sending a clear message that Labour, nobody wants Labour anymore. And I think it could be a knockout blow for Keir Starmer himself.
In terms of out there, I'm really interested because we've always talked a lot about policy. On the doorsteps in Croydon, the stuff that you've done today and the messaging you're getting, what are the top three things that matter to people? We've shown videos already, Robert and Nigel talking about airline taxes. We've done stuff on fuel. When you knock on the door, I think a lot of people would always say about reform in the past, it's only about immigration. But so much of the work that's happened over the last 12 months is to fill in those gaps. What are people telling you on the doorsteps there?
The most important thing people are worried about are cost of living. They're very important. They're very concerned about immigration. They're also really concerned about local issues. They're very concerned about potholes. They're very concerned about local care and social care. Those are all things that are really, really important, which is not a surprise. We hear about those things all the time when we're knocking on doors, as I said, the correspondence that we get. And that's why we've got really good solutions to all of those things here at Reform. And in fact, actually, the only way you're ever going to get real change on any of those things is by voting for us.
I don't know if you know this story, but you can share it with the people of Croydon. You talked about potholes, and we all know that the state of Britain's roads are an absolute disgrace, and we all know that many people have always said we're going to do something about it. Did you see the story this week, Zia, where the Transport Secretary, Heidi Alexander, on her way to a press conference to talk about how allegedly this government is going to improve potholes, her ministerial car hit a pothole and broke down, and she had to get a cab to get her to the press conference. That just about sums it up, pal, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was absolutely totemic and utterly symbolic of the catastrophic failure of government in this country. And hopefully she'll actually take that on board and perhaps actually do something about the catastrophic state of Britain's roads.
Zia Youssef in Croydon, thank you. I know we had some technical. Now, you've got to do what everybody else has got to do. You've got to turn around and see if Croydon can give me the biggest cheer. 1, 2, 3, go, Croydon. Let's see.
Go.
Not bad, Zia Youssef. Thank you very much indeed. In Croydon, Shadow Home Secretary Zia Youssef. We are all around the United Kingdom. Is, of course, the second major canvassing day from Reform UK. This is Jeremy Carr. We're live from the top of the tower. Millbank, we've got Alex, of course, Alex Wilson from the London Assembly, Karen McIver, Epping Forest Branch Secretary. How about that? Is that right?
Done.
I'm doing all right, aren't I? Now, listen, by the way, just to remind you, if you haven't already done it, please download that Reform Go app right now. It says here, it's a fantastic place to keep up to date with everything going on at Reform. I'm not very... have you downloaded the app? Have you? Mm-hmm. Have you?
Yeah, use it all the time.
Kira, why am I the only person who hasn't done it? She says she's going to get me on it. Listen, it will tell you how to keep up to date with everything going on across the country, and also in your borough and your county. You can find out all the information that you need. Guys, just listening to Zia, to Lyndon, to Richard, to Andrew Rossendale, they're all talking about, you know, the strength of this movement and the positivity. Mm-hmm. There will be bumps in the road, potholes probably, and it isn't for the faint-hearted, but one gets the distinct impression that there is real belief that something is about to happen. Would that be a fair comment?
Yeah, we use the word hope quite a lot. We give people hope. So when we speak to people, they're so pleased to see us. You know, we walk the streets, we get bibbed up all the time. It's just people are grateful, and they're grateful that we're being brave and stepping up. You know, all the people around the country that are stepping up.
Is it brave, or is it just what you feel?
I think it's what you. I think it's what we feel. I think.
Is it brave because it's attacking the traditional two-party, if you like, uniparty?
Well, you're going above and beyond what you would do in your normal life. You're putting, you're putting your head above the parapet. And
but isn't that good? Isn't that British?
You're speaking. Yes, I think so. I mean, if you go back to COVID with all the doctors and nurses banging and stuff, you know, we British people, we can stick together and we make really good things happen. And I feel that a lot of people feel that on the doorstep. But I just wanted to say something. Zia just reminded me of something very important. A lot of people think their vote doesn't matter. We hear that a lot on the doorstep. And getting that message across. You look at Sarah. Sarah won by 6 votes.
Sarah Pochin, this is of course Runcorn and Helsby.
And that is, I use, you know, that's a really good tool to use on the doorstep. You know, your vote does matter. You know. Everybody's vote matters, and just
it's a really good point, actually, because I guess you come across, Alex, you will have done as well as Karen, you know, people who go, I can't be bothered, it doesn't matter what I think, my vote doesn't matter. That's essentially very dangerous, isn't it?
No, absolutely. If you don't vote, then you can't really complain about what's going on, and people have got a lot to complain about, so the way to change that is to exercise your right to vote. And you know, often you do get very close results. You mentioned about
was
Sarah
it
Pochin.
Really 6 votes?
Six votes. It was all, so you know, just that's possibly one household and your neighbours, and that makes a difference. A few years ago, in a different life, in a different party, I lost an election by 10 votes. Wow. So I've seen it myself. It can make a real difference.
In another life?
Well, when I was
another party.
In another party. Let's not talk
it's
about.
It's so much more fun now.
Let's not talk about what I'm doing, but that's about the country.
How did you feel when you lost by 10 votes?
Well, I was gutted, and I think it's almost worse than losing by 100, because you know, there wasn't anything you could have done to swung that around. But no, it really does make a difference, and we're going to see this in these results in just a few weeks' time, because the traditional old party system is so fractured now. There are, I think, in about 79% of the wards that are up for grabs on the 7th of May being contested by the 5 main parties. That's the highest percentage that's ever been, higher than last year and massively higher than it's ever been prior to that, because obviously what we're doing, the Greens and the 3 old parties as well. So there's going to be some very strange results, lots of fragmentation, winning on low vote shares, and it's probably the most volatile and unpredictable set of ward results. But yeah, every vote matters, and that's why if you want to vote for reform or want to throw away the failures of the Conservatives, the Labour Party, and you're not tempted by the boob whisper of Zach Polanski, then you've got to vote reform, and your vote will make a difference.
I think that is the message, isn't it, for any political party, but we're talking reform here, is to galvanise those doubters, to galvanise the people who think that their vote doesn't matter, whether that's nationally or locally. That's how a movement works, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you excited about what's coming up, or are you both very nervous?
I'm really excited.
Are you?
I'm really excited. I see all the work that goes on around the country. I visited Wales. I helped with Sarah's campaign, helped with Matt recently, and I see what's going on around the country, kind of mirroring what we're doing, and it's just wonderful. And people have no idea how hard we're all, look, the average person doesn't realise how hard we're all working at Reform. You know, most of us are volunteers, and we're doing it around our day jobs, if you like, because we're so determined. We're so determined to get to, you know, to take over as many councils as we can and get a Reform government led by Nigel. It's what we all want.
OK, listen, just hold on a second, guys. You've been amazing. It is, of course, not only in the local and council elections that are taking place in England, but also the Welsh and Scottish elections too. In the run-up to the Welsh Senate elections, Reform UK put together a party election broadcast. Have a watch.
We cannot allow the parties that broke Wales to pretend that they are the solution. The proud nation of Wales deserves better. This is Pew's Lane. This stream is where I used to play with my brothers in all weathers. And my house was just at the top of this lane, about a 10-minute walk. And we'd get so carried away that we'd forget it was tea time. And I remember once my mother coming down the lane in her pinny, sort of calling us up, because we were just so engrossed in playing in the stream. I love the area. This is Wales, countryside, woods, trees, streams. I had a really happy childhood, and that's what I want for my children. And seeing the boys playing in the stream, for me, it's like come full circle now. That's the kind of childhood I want for my sons. But I also want them to have more opportunities than I did. And that's what's motivating me to stand for the Senedd, is to make sure that in 15 years or so time, that my boys won't feel they have to move to London or to Bristol or across the bridge for opportunities. I think Wales has been on a managed decline over the last 27 years. There's no ambition amongst the politicians at Cardiff Bay. People have almost come to sort of accept, well, this is just the way things are in Wales. I don't believe that. I think we're being held back, and I think things can get better. For the last 27 years, Wales has been let down by Labour and Plaid Cymru. And after 27 years, we have the worst education results in the UK. We have the longest NHS waiting lists. We have the highest unemployment. Some of my closest friends are farmers, and I know how hard they work. They just want to produce food. There's the alarm clock generation who wake up early, work hard, yet still struggle to make ends meet.
My ambition would be in 4 years' time that we turn the public sector services around, and that we have a sense of ambition and pride brought back to Wales, and that we say actually we can do better, and we will. And we won't accept the low standards of the political establishment down in Cardiff Bay.
We will stand on a platform that puts the people of Wales first. Wales needs reform, but we cannot do it without you. And you will only get the change that you want by voting Reform on May the 7th.
Wales is broken, and Wales needs reform.
I'm Dan Thomas, and I'm leader of Reform UK here in Wales.
Welcome back, my friends. The second hour of Reform UK's 2026 canvassing down. Jeremy Kyle, and we are live from the top of Millbank Tower at Reform HQ. And this afternoon we are out and about in the country. In this hour we will be heading to Clacton, to Nigel Farage, as well as the South East. Don't forget that great competition we're running. Each branch, the one that knocks on the most doors, is up for a fantastic prize. We're giving away £5,000 as a cash prize to the branch that knocks on the most doors. And frankly, it's not even a competition. Look at this, St Helens North. Wow. They're made of strong stuff there. They're made of strong... 1,456. What's that? Montgomeryshire and how do you say that? Glyndwr, is it? I don't know. I don't know how you say that. 820. They've done well. Pontefract, Castleville, and Nottingham. 707. St Helens. Honestly, everybody in St Helens is knocking on far more doors. Milton Keynes. They drop one to number 5. Northampton North. They're dropping 3. It sounds like the top 40. But listen, St Helens North doing a fantastic job. I'm sure wherever you are in your local community, you are doing the business. But as a branch, branch. If you knock on the most doors, you will win a prize. Please get to it. And don't forget as well, if you're tuning into this show and you're thinking, yeah, but I don't know how to get involved with Reform, don't forget that wonderful Reform Go app. You can download that now. It will give you local information in terms of the branch and stuff that's going on. And also later on in this show, as I said, live to Clacton to speak to the leader of Reform UK, Nigel Farage. There'll be members, there'll be supporters, there'll be activists. Let's do another live shot and build it up. This should be our view of Clacton. Oh no, the cameraman's having a gin. He's busy, don't worry about that. I'm joined in the studio. I love this. It's all good. Karen McIver's Reform UK's Epping Forest Branch Secretary. She's had the same job in the hour I've mentioned 100 times. Now, Alex Wilson, of course, Reform's leader in the London Assembly. How are you feeling about the first hour? Are you getting the vibe in the country?
I am. It's exciting. I'm loving it. And it's great to see everything that's going on around the country, you know. People, and I was thinking about the app. If there's people that are not familiar with the app, not using it properly, ask their branch friends and
tell me
colleagues
about the app, because I'm technically rubbish.
To show them. So there's an app that we can all download on our phone, and you can obviously use it for canvassing and things, but you can also use it with your friends. So if you have friends in Reform, you can communicate with each other like that.
Oh, it's like you can message your Reform friends.
You have like news from Reform regularly coming up.
Exclusive news.
Yeah, it's great. It's great, and the more you use it, the better you get. You know, and if there is anybody that isn't sure how to use it, ask a friend, ask a branch member.
I don't know how to use it, and I haven't got any friends.
Reach out, because you know the idea is that everybody uses it, and it works, you know, to our advantage.
Do you find it useful? Seriously, Alex?
I find it really usul for canvassing. I mean, all the other stuff is nice, and it gives you information about the branch and events that you can sign up to. But where it's really transformative in doing what we're doing on the ground, and today is a perfect example of that. It's the canvassing. So instead of having to have scrubby bits of paper and it gets wet in the rain and you lose it, and all the data goes on there in real time. When it comes to polling day, you can just then run your knocking up lists from there, and so everything is seamless in real time, integrated, and it's brilliant. And everyone in my branch is using it and really enjoying it, and it's great. I can't speak highly enough of the app. It's brilliant.
So let me just remind you, because we've an hour to go, still to come, we will speak to Layla Cunningham, who is, of course, Reform UK's London mayoral candidate. She's fantastic. She'll be on the show. The leader of Reform UK is, of course, Nigel Farage. He will be live in Clacton. Other guests as well will stay here as well with Karen and with Alex, and we'll get you involved. And we're going to keep looking at that leaderboard, because if I'm being honest, if I was in a branch right now, I mean, I'd want some of that money. I mean, I'm looking at a board that says St Helens North are well, I mean, it would be nice if it came up here. Let's see if I can do this. 3, 2, 1, go. No good at all. Anyway, St Helens North, 1,461 doors. The rest of you, oh, there you go. Never late. It's a slight delay. Satellite brain. Come on. You want the £5 grand? Do they get to keep the money, or do they have to spend it on something? So the branch can like divvy it up and go out and have a nice time? What do they have to do with the money then? Spend it on equipment? Oh, they have to spend it on campaigning leaflets. They can't spend it on themselves. Obviously not. It's for the good of... No, I'm just being honest. I didn't know whether they could all get 250 quid each and go out and have a drink. No. Campaign leaflets. Make your branch the best. St Helens North. We've got to say, Jack, what are St Helens North doing?
Consistently at the top.
Is that an area, because you know that area, is it an area that's very, very, very active in terms of this movement?
Well, it's looking like it, isn't it?
Wow.
It's going to be huge.
Cynicism from our production assistant. That's his job today. Honestly, you wouldn't believe it, people. Anything more you can tell me about the branches? I mean, your branch... Oh, hold on, no, we're not talking to you now, because we are going live to a lady, a very important lady. Layla is standing, of course, Layla coming to be mayor in London. She's in Havering. You see, I got that right. Layla, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jeremy, how are you?
I'm all right, but I want to explain to you so you understand why my head keeps going that way. I have a picture of you there and the camera there, so if I keep doing that, you won't think I've got a tick or something. How's it going in Havering?
It's going brilliant. How's it going in Havering, guys? It's going really well in Havering. I'm here with Keith, one of the local candidates, and our General Assembly member, London Assembly member of mine. And yeah, it's going really well. And it's interesting, Jeremy, because
when we were talking earlier...
The Conservatives
Sorry,
are
sweet, there is a
lying.
bit of a delay, but one of the things that's coming out from all the people we're speaking to is just how important it is for politicians who might be in the news and on television and on radio to get out, touch the flesh and understand on the doorsteps what's going on. And certainly for you and for London, this is exactly what you do each and every day, Layla, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm out almost every day speaking to London and from London. You know, you find the most tragic, sometimes the most uplifting. It is the most rewarding activity a politician can do. And what I have been hearing on the doorstep, and I'm sure you have as well, Hugh, is that the Tories in Bexley and in Brom and have nothing to offer but lies, Jeremy. They are saying that we are going to build on the Greenbelt. That is a lie. Not build on the Greenbelt. In fact, Jeremy, a lot of people don't know that it was the Conservative Council to run Bexley and Brom. They are the ones that have approved planning permission on the Greenbelt, and across the country they have approved building on the Greenbelt in their local plan. So on the doorstep they say they're going to protect it, but discreetly in their local plan and in their planning policies they don't protect it. Only report.
It's so good to see. I just was going to ask you, because we've got this, and there is a lot of noise in my ear, which is not my fault at all, so I'm trying desperately to hear you, but I'm getting other people shouting at me. There's this wonderful competition on that the branches have today. The one that knocks on the most doors can win this wonderful amount of cash that they can use in their branch. How are the people of Havering doing? Are they knocking on many doors? I mean, you're all standing in the street. Why aren't they knocking now?
That's because they all want to be part of the national campaign day, and they want to see you, Jeremy. They're big fans. Yeah. That's why.
Get back to work, people. Get back to work.
Yes, sir. We're on it.
Listen, Layla, thank you very, very much indeed. Layla Cunningham, who is literally out each and every day, standing, of course, to be the Reform Mayor in London, the lady to take on Sadiq Khan. There she is, in Havering, with, I think she said Rob, but if you could hear what I hear in my ear, you would understand how I can't actually hear anything from Havering. But thank you very much indeed. Have a great afternoon, team. Get a door knocking. That's what we need. Bye. Thank you very much indeed. Bye. Layla Cunningham, we're still waiting. Bye. Brilliant. Is it possible to try and do something when I've got 47 people? I couldn't actually hear a word, bless her, that she was saying, but I got the gist, so thank you very much indeed. She's down there in Havering. She is, of course, standing to be the mayoral candidate in London for Reform. We're standing by the leader of Reform UK very soon in Clacton, Nigel Farage. I just wanted to do this for you. With local elections, what is it, 17 days away now, I think? Just weeks, really, a couple of weeks. Here's a reminder of why we are here.
In the early hours of the 8th of May, we are going to witness another political earthquake when Reform achieved results that nobody can yet believe. I've been in the Isle of Wight, Hampshire, Sussex, London, Milton Keynes, Suffolk, Essex, Yorkshire. I've been all over the country. And most people who've come to these events have never been to a political meeting in their lives. And it shows me something remarkable is happening out there, and it's because people understand that the two-party system has broken Britain. Keir Starmer says Britain's not broken. This here will be a referendum on Keir Starmer's premiership of this country. This is the most unpatriotic, the most dishonest, the most dissembling, the most undeserving Prime Minister we have had in any of our lifetimes. And on May the 7th, if we deliver the kind of result that I believe is possible, Starmer would be out of office by the end of May. Isn't that worth fighting for? If you want change, on May the 7th, you've got a chance to vote for change. And what we learned on May the 1st last year in the English county elections is if you vote Reform, you get Reform. And whilst running local government is not easy, and whilst no one can wave a magic wand, I'm proud of our record of the first 10 months in government. I really, really am. have to have the mentality that we fight to win absolutely everywhere we stand. That is the only way. And you can all be part of this people's army. You can deliver leaflets, you can speak to your friends, you can go to the bingo hall, the pub, wherever it may be, and spread the message that if this country is going to have change, if this country is going to have hope, it is only Reform UK that will bring that. Are you yourselves prepared to stand up and make a commitment to help us? Thank you very much indeed. Onward to May the 7th!
I'd like to point out that this is not me building up to Nigel Farage. We've got a slight technical problem. I'm very honest to people. That's why you need change, because Wi-Fi in this country is rubbish. But we will get to the main man very, very soon. Some big news, by the way. You know, I keep saying download the Reform Go app, the app that will tell you everything you need to know about this movement. How many people have signed up? 5,000 people have signed up since we came on air, and one person's texted and went, I used to watch the Jeremy Kyle show and skive off school. So also good afternoon to them. But listen, the most important thing on this National Canvassing Day 2026 is we are running this fantastic competition for all the branches, for people doing the hard work across the United Kingdom, from the north to the south, from the east to the west. If you look at this, St Helens North, they're not going to be caught, are they? Is this just Jack in the next door knocking, or is it throughout the rest of the day? Throughout the day. Right, so if you are thinking, I haven't got a chance in 50 minutes of knocking on 600 and however many doors to try and beat St, you've got the rest of the day. Don't be a part-timer. St Helens North are currently leading. They're going to get £5,000 as things stand. Which branch will knock on the most number of doors? We will give that money, £5,000. It'll be announced on the socials tomorrow. £2.5 grand for second and £1 grand for third, but bearing in mind the tax, the third person won't get any money at all. In the studio, nearly, Karen McIver. Watch this. Reform UK's Epping Forest branch secretary for the 330th time, and Alex Wilson, the leader of Reform UK in the London Assembly. We're building up to the main man. When Nigel Farage won his seat in Clacton, Alex, was that a seminal moment for this movement?
Hugely. But the general election as a whole was a huge breakthrough for us, because we showed that even under the first past the post voting system, which deliberately prevents insurgent parties making a breakthrough, we could win in more than one place at the same time. So that was 5 seats, 15% of the vote, 4 million votes on all three of those key metrics, smashing what UKIP had achieved at their peak back in 2015. So it showed that we've made that breakthrough, and it's about what happens next. But yeah, Nigel winning in Clacton was crucial for us. If that hadn't have happened, then I don't know what we'd be doing. We certainly wouldn't be here at the top of the tower. In
terms, Karen, of the man who will be on this show in the next, whenever the Wi-Fi works, is he the difference? I mean, the people that set up Reform and all the local people, but Nigel Farage is the cherry on the top, isn't he, to be fair?
Yes, Nigel Farage, everybody knows him. Everybody knows he was very...
Everybody, just hear me out and say, this is what I think one of his massive strengths is. Everybody feels they know him.
Yes.
Everybody feels that he's somebody they can relate to, talk to, argue with, disagree with, and still go for a pint with. Is that a good description?
100%. We all know that Nigel was a very big player in getting Brexit, making Brexit happen. Okay, he didn't finally deliver it because the Conservatives delivered it wrong. It still hasn't really been delivered properly, let's be honest. But Nigel is that person. He's a people person. People warm to him, and exactly what you just said. You feel like you know him, and then when you do meet him, he's very warm. He's very good with people, and you know in life when you meet people, you remember them because they're nice and they're kind, and you can see his vision. He's such a clever man. You can see his vision, and he's had that vision for a long time. And now we're able to, with all the people that help him, we're able to start making the grassroots really happen, and everybody can see it's happening, and it's happening before our eyes. It's very exciting. But people very much, I mean, everybody that speaks to me asks me about Nigel. He's such a good leader.
I've got a story about Nigel Farage, and this is just a personal story, which I think is relevant to what I think about the man. This isn't even political. I was involved in the conference, and we were out the back chatting and chewing the fat, and my son, who's 16, had come for the day. And he was about to go to golf college, and Nigel Farage and he were talking, and you could see the awe. I went off to do something, and basically when I came back, he said, "Oh, I've spoken to Nigel." Anyway, I think 4 weeks went by, and sadly a great friend of both Nigel's and mine, James Well, the broadcaster, had died, and we were at James's funeral. And this man, and I think this is relevant, and I say this a lot to people, this man who deals with everything that he deals with, turned to me in the middle of that and went, "How was Henry's first day at golf college?" And I remember thinking, do you know what? That is a skill. Yeah. That is not contrived. That is not a focus group telling you what to think. But as much as people compliment Nigel Farage, and you must see this on the door, there are a lot of critics, but he takes it all in his stride.
Yeah, I think as regards people meeting Nigel, Nigel has time for people. He doesn't say hello, goodbye. He asks them about what they're doing, and
gives the impression that he
has time for people. And as regards all the nasty comments and the smears, I mean, Nigel was speaking recently to us, and the Conservatives are desperate. They're going to just keep smearing. That's what they do. Labour are doing the same. We have to just ignore all the horrible comments. Don't read them. Keep our party positive, and remember that we are the party of hope and of fun and good people, and we want to deliver that positive message.
So it is our National Canvassing Day 2026 here live from the top of the tower. My name's Jeremy Kyle. Reform before 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock even, I can't tell the time. Before 3 o'clock, Nigel Farage will be with us. And don't forget, 5,000 so far of you have downloaded the Reform Go app, which will give you every bit of information you need about your local branch and how you can get involved. If you're not already at a branch, if you're not knocking on doors and canvassing already, and you're listening to this and you're thinking, yeah, I agree with that. I've watched the videos about the fuel with Nigel and with Robert Jenrick. I'm a pensioner. I've just seen that video. I'm interested. Download the app. Reform Go right now. 5,000 have done it already. Let's head to the northeast. One of the greatest parts of this country, God's country to me. And to Durham, where Andrew Husband, Reform UK leader of Durham County Council, is, well, look at him there in his shirt. Andrew, good afternoon. Sunderland he is. He's in Sunderland, mate. He's at Mackham. How are you, Andrew?
Good afternoon. Well, I'm actually all right. I've missed the Newcastle United game to be here in Sunderland, so I've had to put my my Reform shirt on, so at least I'm neutral today. We're winning over the locals with the Reform shirt, not Newcastle.
Let me get this straight. Let me get this straight, because I spend a lot of time in Newcastle, and I know Mackhams and the Toon do not get it. You are a Toon fan standing in a Sunderland heartland, and you've decided the best way to survive is to wear a Reform UK shirt. Is that right?
In disguise. But to be fair, I think the Sunderland fans would be happy that I'm missing a Newcastle game to be here. So there you go.
Andrew, we've been talking to people across the country all morning and all afternoon and asking what it is about this day. We know the branches have got their own competition on about how many doors they can knock on, but I'm interested in gleaning from you. What is the vibe in Sunderland for this day and Reform in its entirety as a political movement?
You know what? It feels like what we were experiencing in Durham last year, and I've had a little bit of insight in this because I've sat on the NECA board, the North East Combined Authority, and even several weeks ago at our last meeting, they were almost saying goodbye to each other. The leaders of Sunderland, of South Tyneside, of Gateshead, and I think the momentum, what we're hearing about, the Labour lot are almost giving up on certain ward seats. They're trying to focus on the scraps they think they're going to win. So it's really buoyed us. It's really, really encouraging. I think everyone's candidates behind me very excited.
And what are on the doorsteps in Sunderland? What are the main thing? What are the main things on the doorsteps in Sunderland that people are interested in, Andrew?
From what we've heard, it's very similar to Durham. People are just fed up with the money not going far enough, the waste that they're experiencing in County Hall, the vanity projects when they're not repairing roads, potholes, antisocial behaviour. Just people are just feeling forgotten about and left behind, and it's such a sad managed decline is what it feels like. And I think from what we've done in Durham, it's given the people of Sunderland a bit of hope, the fact that we can do things differently, we can we can cut the waste, we can start reinvesting in our roads and our children's homes and our care homes, and actually give people a bit of hope that things are changing and going to get better. And the lowest council tax increase
in terms of the people there
in the country.
Isn't the joy of a delay just wonderful when you're trying to broadcast? Listen, Andrew, in terms of the people there, I want to try something. So you're in the heart of Sunderland. I want to see, can they hear me, yes or no?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Right. I'm going to see what I get a bigger cheer for. I'd like a cheer first in Sunderland for the Toon Army Newcastle.
Oh.
It's not happening. I'd like a cheer in Sunderland. What about a cheer for Reform UK in Sunderland?
Yay.
Yeah.
Honestly, the delay's something else, isn't it? Listen, Andrew, I know you're busy. Get the brokers, get them out there, get them knocking on doors. Give my best to Sunderland, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you, Andrew Husband, live there from Sunderland. The delay is so long, it's difficult, isn't it? But you get the feeling. I understand that's the way it goes. Try telling a bunch of people in Sunderland to cheer for Newcastle. Not great. It is extraordinary the number of areas we've managed to go to, isn't it?
It's brilliant.
It's
brilliant, and it's so good to think that everybody is out doing their bit,
But I was thinking about people think that Reform, I guess, I mean, you'd know far more than me, you guys, but people would think that it was based or set in one particular area. It's across the whole of the UK,
it really is. I mean, we're doing amazing things in Scotland, in Wales. It really is. I mean, I saw the Isle of Wight pop up on the board.
The Isle of Wight?
Yeah, they were very close, and I wanted them to stay because I was going to give them a big up. But yeah, I was thinking they popped off and then they come up. So yeah, they were on there early. I mean, so there you go. We go from Scotland. It's brilliant.
Is that one of the things being in the London Assembly? I mean, a lot of politicians are criticised that they're called London-centric and told that it's all about that. And one of the great things for me about this National Canvassing Day is actually Reform candidates are out and about, and they're doing what they're doing the length and breadth of this country. A day like this is really important, isn't it?
Hugely, and it's a national canvassing day because this is a national election. There's something going on in every region of the country. 136 councils up for grabs, as well as the Scottish Parliament and the Welsh Senate. So it really is the biggest test of public opinion since the general election, and probably the biggest test before the next general election. So it's crucial that in London, yes, but in the East, in the West Midlands, in the North East, the North West, in the South West, in the South East, right across the country, and as I said, in Scotland and Wales for their devolved bodies. Now, this is a national election. We are looking to cement our position as a national party, as the opposition to this failing Labour government. After these results are declared and counted, then what we're expecting to see on May the 8th, when all the dust has settled, the Conservatives will have ceased to be a national party. We will have replaced them. We are the challenger to Labour. That's what this is about, and that's why it's so important, as you say, to hear from voices from Sunderland.
Well,
the North.
It's really important to go from Kent to London to Durham to the South Coast to get that feeling. Can I just remind everybody who's watching this, genuinely, apart from please download the Reform Go app, because we need to knock another 1,000 or so off that, but just to say that this National Canvassing Day today, it's the 18th, we're going to do it. It's been so successful, Jack's decided he wants to do another 2. It's going to cost you. We're here next Saturday, the 25th, and on May the 2nd as well. This has been so good today. The response has been so good. Thousands of you joining the Reform Go app. Thousands of branches, well, councillors and helpers and workers and supporters out there in the branches. We're going to do it for the next 2 Saturdays. Kira's delighted. She's yawning. You'll enjoy that. Now, I am building up to Nigel Farage because we're not having him at the moment because it doesn't matter why. Let's go to... This is very interesting in Clacton as well. Charlotte Hill is Reform UK's Cabinet Member for Potholes, Highways and Transport, Derbyshire County Council. Let's say a very good afternoon. Oh, and Emily Strudwick, Reform UK Councillor on Portsmouth City Council. Now, what they haven't told me is who's who. So who's on the right with the dark hair?
Yeah.
Brilliant. We haven't got any audio. It gets better by the minute. You better stop talking while we try and make that work. This is turning into it's just turning into the Karen McIver, Jeremy Kyle and Alex Wilson show. Now the camera's at a strange angle and we can't hear what they're saying. It'll happen. It's fine. It's what happens. We're doing this. One minute. Are we going back to them now? Are we? Right. Let's go back, please. Let's try again. Let's say very good. Right. Who's the lady on the right? Help me out.
Well, the one with the dark hair, Jeremy. I'm Charlotte Hill, and I'm Emily Strudwick.
No, absolutely not. Brilliant. Okay, good. Don't worry about it. It happens. That's the way it is. You see, what will happen is people will go, oh my God, it's not working. I'll keep talking.
I just thought something quite important as well to say to people. If there's members at home that are signed up members of Reform and they're listening and watching this and really want to get involved but haven't been to their local branch or haven't got involved.
Yeah, how do they do that?
I urge them to get in touch because the branch will be welcoming them. They'll be, they can get in touch here with Reform HQ to find out.
How many branches are there in the UK? Locally. That would help.
There's 450 plus.
Yep.
You know, we've got branches almost everywhere. You know, there'll be a branch that would welcome you. And if you think, well, I can do some leafleting in my local road or my local community, I can help them, and I'd really like to. Please get involved because I know at our branch we welcome everybody, and the more the merrier. Please, if there's people in our area, please, get involved.
I think for Reform to do very well in these elections, they need to somehow work out how this country in 2026, how the Wi-Fi is so rubbish most of the time. It's frustrating, but it happens, doesn't it? That's the way it is. You must find that in your job, don't you?
Well, anything that's live, there's always the risk of that happening. But
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me.
We'll keep trying and we'll get them, I'm sure.
Can I have a quick look at that leaderboard, actually, because I do want to talk about this. All the branches across the United Kingdom, there are 450 plus Reform UK branches across the United Kingdom, are all doing their business here on this National Canvassing Day. Oh, look at this. Basically, there's a prize up for grabs, peeps. £5,000 to the branch that knocks on the most doors. £2,500 for the branch that comes second, and £1,000 for the branch that comes third. St Helens North are absolutely romping away with this. 1,554 doors they've knocked on. Montgomery doing really well in Wales. 852. Pontefract, Castleford and Nottingham. A shout out to you. 740. St Helens South. St Helens are busy people, Kira. They're very busy up there. 700. I hope they could create Wi-Fi that works. Northampton North, 705. Milton Keynes down at 6. You've still got a chance. Rest of the day. The results tomorrow on the socials. Right. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. We're going back to Clacton to hopefully speak to Charlotte Hill, Reform UK's Cabinet Member for Potholes, Highways and Transport, and from Derbyshire County Council, Portsmouth City Council, Emily Strudwick. So, Charlotte Hill, is that you with the microphone? Say yes, Jezza.
It is Jezza. Can you hear us? Well,
no, we're going to have to stop doing this
because
the sound's not working. Somebody's going to have to speak to me and tell me, sorry ladies, apologies, it's just the way it goes, isn't it? It's happening all the time. For some reason, Clacton isn't able to respond at all. I feel like, when they go, let's go to the United Kingdom, what are your results? We can't get through. Clacton, which is interesting, we can't get Wi-Fi.
I wonder if it's close to the sea, maybe, I don't know.
Closer to the sea? That's not an excuse, is it? I'll tell you what I would like to do, actually, if we can, Chris. We played before 2 o'clock. We played the video that we made when we were talking about Wales. There was also, if we remember, before Malcolm Orford became the leader of Reform in Scotland, a video was made for Scotland as well. And as this broadcast is all over the UK, Chris, could we perhaps play that Scottish video now? Would that be possible, my friend?
So standing up here on the Royal Hill in Greenock, it's such an amazing backdrop, such a beautiful place. And Scotland is a beautiful place, full of creative and innovative and productive people. The reality is over the last 25 years we've been let down by the politicians, been let down by the governing parties, by Labour and the SNP in Scotland, and by the Conservatives and now Labour. And the people of Scotland deserve better. There's so much more potential here. Scotland has got the most amazing natural characteristics. We have great business potential, we have great centres. A lot of people live here and commute up to Glasgow, but what we really want to think about is how do we get good, well-paid jobs back here in Inverclyde, where there's a lot of talent, a lot of innovative people. And that again is going to be the focus of the Reform campaign, because we want better public services. At the moment, people are paying too much tax in Scotland and not getting good enough public services in return.
For the last 20 years, this country has been governed by politicians who have no ambition to make Scotland successful. The sad reality is that Scotland is broken, but it doesn't need to be this way. I know that all of you are just as ambitious as I am to put Scotland back at the top of the table, to make Scotland the most successful part of the UK. And that is why I gave up my lifetime cosy seat in the House of Lords, and that's why I wish to serve the people of Scotland. On May 7th, we have the opportunity to give a voice to millions of Scots who've been taken for granted, ordinary, decent, hard-working Scots who get punished for doing the right thing. A voice to those who want to work, to earn more and succeed for themselves and their communities. We're told we've got no policies. Well, here we have them. So we're in good shape to spread the message of hope to every corner of the country, from Wick to Wigton and everywhere in between, so we can finally turn the corner on 2 decades of national decline.
Things here are not working the way they should be. Our school system is not what it used to be. Our healthcare system is not what it used to be. Our cohesion, our community is not used to be. So I'm really passionate that we can listen to local people in our communities. Let's live and work well together. Let's grow prosperity. Let's grow that prosperity in Inverclyde, and let's grow that prosperity in Scotland. Scotland is broken. Scotland needs reform.
So you saw that video there that Reform have made in Scotland before the hour as well. You saw the one in Wales. This isn't just local elections in the United Kingdom. It is, of course, in Scotland and Wales as well. Just a couple of reminders. We're doing our best with Nigel in Clacton. That Reform Go app, thousands have joined since we started this broadcast at 1 o'clock. Join now. Just download it. I don't know. Why am I doing my fingers like that? Just download it, Reform Go. The app will tell you everything you need to know about your local branch and everything you need to know to get involved on this National Canvassing Day. And all those branches who are looking enviously at St Helens North thinking, we need to knock on more doors. Well, stop watching this and go and knock on more doors then. We need you to knock on as many doors as possible. The other big announcement is, apart from the technological problems, it's gone really well today, so we're going to do it for the next 2 Saturdays. I'm going to sit here with Jack trying to make it work. But now live to the First Lady of Reform, a lady actually, this is really important, who won her seat, Runcorn and Helsby, by just 6 votes, which, as Alex and Karen have said, and many other people have pointed out this morning, proves that every single vote matters. There she is with a spring in her step. Good afternoon, the sunshine, the wonderful Sarah Pochin.
Hello, everybody from Sefton. We're up here in Sefton. Hey, look at that. We've got a great crowd out in Sefton and the most amazing, beautiful weather. So a perfect day for campaigning. And you're doing a great job, Jeremy, down there in the studio. Well done, you.
Well, we're doing our best. Sarah, you've always been very able, I think, to describe I think the honesty and the integrity of how you see things. This canvassing day, and I've said it to many people so far, is about getting out and about, touching the flesh and speaking to not only supporters of Reform, but also maybe people are wondering which way they should vote or whatever their political persuasion. What on the doorstep, Sarah, are the 3 things that people are talking about the most?
The biggest issue up here in Sefton is crime. People feel that they don't see any police on the streets, that crime takes place, nobody does anything about it. People just want to get back to seeing bobbies on the beat and feeling safe in their homes and feeling safe on the streets. Also, they feel that the council, the local authority just doesn't listen to them when it comes to housing. You know, housing is being put now on greenbelt areas with no proper connectivity, no increases in primary schools, secondary schools. And the other big issue is, just like in my constituency of Runcorn and Helsby, up here in Sefton, there is not enough further education facilities for young people. So in other words, it all stops at 16. They can get their GCSEs and then there is absolutely nothing. So what aspiration is there for young people? How do people become socially upwardly mobile when there is just no education? We are failing young people around the Northwest and here in places like Sefton. So 3 big issues for us on the doorsteps.
In terms of the local communities, how are reform received on the doorsteps? I know obviously Sefton is an area that is popular, but are there detractors, and if so, how do you deal with them?
Do you know what? There are so many people here that have absolutely had enough of the Labour Party historically taking their vote for granted. We hear it, don't we, in so many areas around the Northwest where I'm based, where Labour have literally taken people for granted. They've had lazy councillors, they've had councils that are not progressive, are not putting the interests of people first, and actually, you know, the fat cats that run these councils now just not delivering for local people. It's the same story, and that's why we run in one in Runcorn, and that's why we're going to get so many councillors around the Northwest, because people in the North feel utterly betrayed and utterly forgotten by the Labour government.
So a lot of people nodding in the background, which is very interesting, because one of the things we've been talking about is that apart from reform has to get its message out, which will happen on a national canvassing day, but also it has to get away from Westminster. We're sat on the top of the tower, I can see the Houses of Parliament behind me, but the truth of the matter is elections are won, are they not, by getting out and about and meeting ordinary everyday people who, as you quite rightly know and believe and understand, are hacked off with their lives right now, and they want a difference, I guess. That's what reform is plugging into right now, yes?
What they want is a voice, a strong voice. And do you know what I'm finding up and down the country? I was in Bradford on Thursday, Sefton here today. I'm on my way to St Helens shortly. Everywhere I go, people say to me, do you know what?
They're
I've
winning.
never been
They're
to a
winning,
political...
St Helens.
Yeah, they say, oh, okay.
They're winning.
They say
St
to me,
Helens North.
Stop, Jeremy, you're putting me off. They're saying that they've never been to a political rally before. How interesting. And it doesn't matter what age profile or what sex, whether it's men, women, young men, young women. They are all so engaged now in politics. I think it's historic. The current times that we're living in politically are historic. People saying they've never been to listen to a politician like me talk before, and how much they are engaging is a reflection of the fact that they're pinning their hopes on reform to get our country back, to save our country and put British people first. That's all they want. They don't want to see their hard-earned taxpayers' money spent on benefits for people that aren't British citizens. They don't want to see the NHS drowning by people using it that aren't British citizens. It's people now have had enough. Enough is enough. They want common sense to prevail, and it's common sense politicians that are resonating now with people up and down the country.
You are a common sense politician, and you speak. Look at that big grin. Now you've got to try something, because you're the only person who's been on camera today who hasn't got a drink in their hand, apart from Layla. So I want to see how big the cheer amongst the reform gang in Sefton is. I'll leave this to you, okay? I will leave this to you, Sarah Pochin. How much noise can Sefton make?
How much noise can Sefton make?
Brilliant. Couldn't hear a thing, but it looks fantastic. The brilliant Sarah Pochin live there, Sefton in Merseyside. Of course, the Reform MP for Runcorn and Helsby, and let's just reiterate that point, guys. She won her seat by 6 votes.
Yes, and that, people can use that a lot on the doorstep, because when people say, well, my vote doesn't matter, it really does. It really does.
Absolutely. Alex, it's interesting again, the breakdown across the country, all sorts of areas. Lots of people nodding with everything Sarah said, but again, interestingly, cost of living, payment of bills, law and order. As much as immigration, there are other things that people are concerned about, quite rightly.
Yeah, and those are issues that we as Reform Party are speaking to very, very strongly indeed. I mean, Sarah's background as a magistrate,
20 years as a magistrate.
She has a lot of knowledge and understanding of that particular issue. Same with Layla, and her background as a prosecutor in London. Why she's such a fantastic candidate to be taking on Sadiq Khan with his abysmal record on policing and crime. But people need to feel safe in their streets and in their homes and on the public transport network. And clearly, at the moment, a lot of people are not, and that's something that all political parties should be answering, but it's only Reform that is.
Do you know how hard it is doing a live television programme? It's the easiest thing in the world, but I'm slightly dubious about this, because on my autocue it says it's working. Let's go to Clacton, speak to Charlotte Hill, Reform UK's cabinet member. She's on Derbyshire City County Council, and Emily Strudwick, she's on Portsmouth City Council. If this doesn't work, I'm going home. Good afternoon, Charlotte.
Hello, Jeremy. Can you hear us this time?
No, I'm sorry, it's not working
No,
again.
I can't.
Karen,
can you not
help me
hear
out.
us? No, can you not hear
It's
us?
not easy, is
I'm not
it?
letting you go home.
Well, I'm going to have to go home in a minute because nobody, I can't hear. Get rid of the camera, we can't hear from them, it doesn't matter. Sorry, bless them, they're standing there trying to talk to us. There's nothing that I can do but sort of apologise for that, peeps, but that's technical stuff for you.
Well, this is a great canvassing day. Everybody is doing their best around the country, working really hard.
No, just little things like Wi-Fi and stuff like that isn't going to get people down. That happens, that's technology. The most important thing is that we put across to people just how many people are out there, how many people are canvassing, and how many people have got the vibe.
And look how amazing how many people have got the app today since we've been on air.
Yeah, we've got an update. We've got an update on the app.
That's
300 people.
Is that it? 5,300. Come on, get a move on. Reform, go.
That's good.
Download the app. I'm not getting any money for telling you that, but it is actually, on a serious note, really, really an impressive thing. Which will tell you everything. Now, can I also just remind you, this is very important, because to be fair to him, Jack's a very important person. This canvassing day we're going to do for the next 2 Saturdays. Well, we'll do it next Saturday the 25th and Saturday the 2nd of May. Hopefully by then the government will have created a Wi-Fi system that works. That will be useful. We've talked about the app, but also the branches. I need to get that live leaderboard up. We said at the beginning of the show, all the branches, 450 plus Reform branches across the UK, had a chance to go for this prize. £5,000 to the branch that knocks on the most doors before the end of play today. We'll let you know on the socials tomorrow. Still, St Helens North are absolutely romping away with this. But check this. This is the impressive thing. St Helens, South and Wiston are in second. St Helens might as well wrap up the whole country. What's happened to the rest of you? Montgomery and Glyndar in Wales. Pontefract, what's happened? Northampton, Newport, New in at 6. Western, is that Aylwin? I don't know. Islin, I don't know. But honestly, if you live in St Helens, I think you've wrapped it up. Do you think they'll put the money together? Do we think they'll put the money together and go out and celebrate? They probably will. Right, listen, we're going to go now back to the northeast, my friends, OK? We heard from Andrew Husband, who was a Newcastle United fan, had taken off his Toon Army shirt, put on a Reform UK shirt and headed to Sunderland. We're now going back there. Fingers crossed, is that right, Chris? We're going to go to our very own Darren Grimes, of course, who is deputy leader of Durham Council, and I've got a picture of the floor, and it's a sideways picture. I've no idea what's going on. That's very, very strange. People who can't make cameras work.
What's going to happen on May the 7th, my friends? Is Washington going to vote Reform? I couldn't be any clearer, could it? But there's also Gateshead, and who's from Gateshead? Right, what's Gateshead going to look like, sir?
Blue, Reform.
Reform, yeah, that's the right kind of blue. That's the right kind of blue. And we've got Sunderland. Chris, what's it going to do?
We're going to absolutely kick Labour out, and this is going to be the start of the end of Starmer.
I agree. And the reception here has been phenomenal. We're supported by this marvellous pet shop behind her, right here in Washington. There's an overwhelming amount of support. People coming over asking for stickers, Jeremy. People coming over asking how they can get involved and actually help spread the message. But Washington, I mean, in general, though, Paul, the facts are that this part of the world is actually looking incredibly good for us. And you've been around the party since, what, 2023?
2023.
How's it changed?
I've been involved in a fair few elections with Reform UK, and I've never seen anything like it. I've never felt what we feel on the ground right now. People have had enough. People are ready for change, and it's coming. It's a boiling point now. And we're going to not just wipe Labour out here locally. We know what's going to happen nationally. Change is coming, and Reform is that change that people need. We are here to work. We are here to deliver. Every single one of these candidates and campaigners behind you has been absolutely relentless for months and months and months. We've put the work in. We are ready to lead. We are ready to take control, and we are ready to kick this toxic Labour Council and government into the long grass.
Well said. And Jeremy, dare I say, they've got some experience thanks to Reform UK in County Durham. Let's not forget. Round of applause for County Durham. Now, my friends, what we've been doing, we've been out and about, and we are putting out postal votes. We've got reams and reams of postal vote letters to actually encourage people who do have a postal vote to get out and make sure that they put their cross for Reform UK. And with that, Jeremy, we've got lots to be getting on with, so I'm going to leave you in the studio and thank you ever so much for every single person that's out and about today on our National Canvas Day.
Good man, Darren Grimes, Deputy Leader of Durham Council, live and exclusive there in Washington. He was tired at Washington, amazing. Listen, he's doing such a great job. And you get the real feeling when you heard the guy, the passion of that guy, that he wants to make change and he believes. And actually, what's also very fascinating is, and I was going to ask you both about this, we can do a national canvassing day and we can talk about, people invest in and get involved with the Reform Go app. But do you not think that there is more? This is maybe a weird question, but I think a couple of years ago, maybe beyond that, before that, with the expense scandal and the problems of the Tory government, I think people were really disinterested in politics. The Reform movement seems to have re-energised people. Would that be fair?
Yeah, absolutely. I just think a lot of people feel they were sold a lie a few years ago, and now we can see, like I've used this word a lot, but there's so much hope with Reform. People...
Is that a pressure, though, when you've got that much hope?
I think
to deliver?
I think people can see they want it. They can see how hard people are working. Nobody takes anything for granted. It's hard work that wins elections across the country, and we can clearly see that our branches, our grassroots, are doing amazing. And big round of applause to everybody because
absolutely.
They're doing amazing. And like I said earlier, most of these people probably have full-time jobs, and they're putting their head above the parapet and using all their spare time, to get the Reform message out there. And it's marvellous. It's wonderful to see. I feel so proud of everybody. They're doing amazing.
Alex, when you see from Durham to Kent to London to Southampton to wherever else we've been today, all over the place, does it galvanise you as a politician? Does it? There must have been times, I'm sure, when you're battering against Khan who won't answer a question in the London Assembly or whatever, where you just think this is pointless. But does it galvanise you when you see the strength and depth on the ground?
Well, it shows how far we've come as a party. The journey since the party began, sort of back end of 2020, as it was transitioning from being the Brexit party into Reform, and that's when I joined. So I was an early adopter of Reform, relative to many other people who've come since. But at that time, nobody knew who we were. Half the polling companies didn't prompt for us. Those that did, we were sort of bumping along at 1%, 2% in the polls if we were lucky, and we could probably get the entirety of the London Voluntary Party into 2 taxis. How different things are now, and that's what
changed it.
Well, just momentum. I think the general election was a huge breakthrough for us, as we talked about earlier on, and then everything that's happened since. I think the fact that the wheels have come off the Labour government so quickly. Normally a new government comes in with a big majority, have a following wind behind them, and basically they can do no wrong for 18 months. But it was 18 minutes, I think, in this government before things started going badly wrong. And that's what's given us this huge opportunity, this space, while people are still fed up with the legacy of the Conservatives. And we've absolutely grabbed that with both hands. The membership's gone through the roof. The branch network being set up, and we've got over 450 branches active now.
That's a lot of branches, isn't it?
And that's the game changer for us on the ground. And so to see, as we've seen on the clips today and the interviews today, volunteers, activists, members, candidates. As Karen says, most of those are purely volunteers.
Well, let's not overegg that, because I think we should absolutely keep repeating it, because we'll read newspapers and watch television programmes and hear radio programmes about professional politicians who get paid to do that job. These are people who feel so strongly about what's going on in their lives, whatever it is in their lives that affects them, that they feel committed to join this project. That's what we're saying, right?
And the party wouldn't exist, wouldn't function, and certainly wouldn't win elections without them. They are the most important people in the party. Nigel's very important, obviously, but the members are even more so, because they're the ones that are delivering the leaflets.
Yeah, I mean, Nigel's amazing. The senior leadership team are amazing. We are. The people that work at HQ work so hard, and as Alex said, across the country, the grassroots, everybody's just doing a great job. Well done, everybody.
Right, yeah, well done, everybody. Now, listen, keep going if you're in a branch. Don't forget that prize, £5,000 for the branch that knocks on the most doors before close of business today. The Socials of Reform will give you the answers tomorrow. Do not forget to download the Reform Go app as soon as you can. 5,500 people have done that since we've gone there at 1 o'clock. I'm slightly dubious about this, but I trust Chris. We're going back to Clacton. Apparently it's working. Charlotte Hill, Emily Strudwick, if it's not working this time, I'm literally going home. Go! Haven't even got a picture. Hello? No, there you are. What did I tell you? We haven't even got a picture. I give up. I'm not trying. Oh! What? What is that? No, it's ridiculous. Sorry, forget that, Chris. That's no good at all. That's just somebody's feet. National Canvassing Day with somebody's feet. It happens.
Well, we're foot soldiers all, aren't we?
Oh, very, very good. Anyway, I was going to say to that poor lady who didn't manage to get on, Charlotte Hill, I was going to say to her that great story we heard earlier about the Transport Secretary. Potholes are a big thing, aren't they? People laugh at that. Do you know, we did some research once, I think years ago, on something I was doing, and the British people, I know at the moment with what's going on in the war and all the problems with bills, potholes are a massive bind for people, aren't they?
Absolutely.
They really are.
Yeah, the condition of the roads, it's outrageous. And you pay a fortune to drive your car in tax, fuel duty, vehicle excise duty, and you expect, in return for that, the road should be in a fit condition to drive. Look, you have to have your car MOT'd every year in order to be allowed to drive it on the road.
Right,
so the roads need to be fixed.
I'm going to have to stop you there. I'm slightly dubious about this, but there we go. This is not my fault. 3, 2, 1. Nigel Farage in Clacton. Good afternoon, sir. How are you? Oh.
Good afternoon. Very well, thank you.
I'm sorry, my friend. The technical... Obviously, if you do make it into government, could you make a Wi-Fi system that works? That would create no problems at all for everybody. National Canvassing Day for Reform. Extraordinary to see, Nigel, the numbers of foot soldiers, the length and breadth of this country, out and about doing the business. We've got this competition with the branches to knock on doors. The wonderful people in St Helens are leading the way. We've also been adding, I think, thousands onto the Reform Go app, and there really is a feeling that this, the first of 3 national canvassing days, is really showing reform for what it is, which is something that people are really buying into.
Yeah, we're professionalising, we're getting better at it. I mean, the app is a massive leap forwards for the party. But, you know, Jeremy, the other thing, we're living in a world of instant communication, living in a world of 24/7 news, living in a world where we're bombarded with Facebook posts and X and whatever it may be. And it's really interesting that still the best way to persuade people to actually get up on the 7th of May and go and do something is to meet them face to face on their terms, on their doorstep. It's really funny. The higher tech the world gets, in a funny way, the old-fashioned stuff seems to work even more. And I'm very proud of the fact that so many thousands of our activists are out there today and out there every day. And we've got, 17, 18 days to go until the election. And what we've got to do is just run to the line.
In terms of being, I mean, I think you're absolutely right. Canvassing and meeting people, touching the flesh is so important, because people will read newspapers, they'll watch the television, they'll maybe... I just think that engagement is about knocking on the door. You've always done that. I've asked this to people all day. You'll have people who go, yeah, Nigel, you're great. We'll have people who aren't. Is it not the people who are undecided that these sorts of days are about as well? a chance for people associated with reform to explain the policies, to explain what you would do differently, to put meat on the bone, to be fair?
There are two things here. Number one, I get your point. Those on the fence, those undecided, meeting another human being that reassures them is important. But there's something that's actually even more important, and it's this. There is a big silent majority out there that agrees with almost everything that we stand for. But many of them have either got out of the habit of voting or were never in the habit of voting, so disenchanted have they become with the whole political system. So I've been saying, by the way, this is the end of 6 weeks for me. 6 weeks on the road, almost every single day. And what I say to our candidates and our activists when I meet them is you will find people on the doorstep who agree with us. Your job is to say to them, right, if you agree, please go and do something about it. So the motivational side of this is also very, very important.
It's interesting, apathy can work both ways, because there will be people who support your party who'll say, it's a done deal, I don't need to vote, and there will be others who go, my vote doesn't make a difference. Those are absolutely, where they're the silent majority as you described, and those are the most important people. When you've been out and about, and I know you've been touring for weeks and weeks, bless you, what's it been like on the doors? I mean, I've asked this to many people. You know, the critics in the past would say, oh, it's only about immigration. We've played some great videos today, you and Robert Jenner talking about fuel pricing, talking about holiday tax, all those sorts of things, to put that meat on the bone. Is it still immigration? Is it bills? Is it cost of living, Nigel? What are people on the doorstep saying to you, the man they hope and believe can change things for them?
You know what they say? Please save us. Please save us is the commonest response. Yes, of course I get fuel prices. Yes, of course I get all these things. But please save us. And that's a feeling from people that the country is very rapidly going down the drain. Economic decline, societal decline, law and order such that people fear to go out at night. And this is even in small market towns all over England. Yeah, it's this general feeling that the ship of state needs to be turned around by 180 degrees. That overwhelmingly is what I'm getting. And up north what I'm getting, and in the valleys of South Wales what I'm getting, is a feeling that a Labour Party that's been for working people and that has dominated some of these areas since the end of World War I is no longer their party. And I think that's going to be the most significant thing that will come out by the morning of May 8th, is you will see patriotic old Labour coming to reform, I think in astonishing numbers. I genuinely do. And then you'll see the young progressive urban Labour going towards the Greens. And my guess is Starmer won't survive until Midsummer's Day.
Just to finish, and obviously you and I can't be doing anything about the technical things today, but I know that the thousands that are watching this want to hear from the man that they pin their hopes upon. What is the overall message to maybe people who are watching this and are thinking of downloading the app, maybe people who are thinking of walking into their local branch in the next 17 days because they're galvanised to believe that you and Reform can make a change? What would you say to them directly, Nigel, to finish today?
Politics needs leadership, politics needs big figures, but ultimately we are only going to bring about the kind of radical change the country needs with a mobilised people's army. So, to sort of parrot Kitchener, your party needs you.
And I'll tell you what we need, Nigel. This country needs bloody Wi-Fi that works. But thank you very much indeed, my friend. Live from Clacton, the leader of Reform UK, Nigel Farage, telling you all, actually, despite what's happened, you know, that this is a movement, this is a belief, and this is a feeling that there is real change on the way. Just a final word very quickly. Karen McIver from Epping, Branch Secretary, of course, Reform. Alex, he is the figurehead of your movement, is he not? Yes. But today, to see the numbers of people out and about, as you say, doing it because they believe in it is truly inspiring.
Yeah, absolutely. Nigel's our leader, and everybody listens to Nigel, and we have a great leadership team. But the people on the ground, what they're doing is amazing, and just keep going, guys. Keep going till the sun goes down. Just keep knocking on those doors, get those figures up. And yeah, good luck to everybody.
Alex, final word?
Yeah, well, same. The membership and the activist base is so important for what we're doing now. It's how we won the local elections last year. It's how we're going to win the local elections on the 7th of May. 3 weeks to go, less than. Really good that people are doing what they've been doing up until now, but still important to keep going right up until the line, because there's so many seats up for grabs. I said earlier, a lot of them will be won on quite fragmented vote shares, so every vote will count. Every leaflet that you deliver, every door that you knock on, every street stall you hold, all of that counts. And then on the 8th of May, we can take a big sigh of relief and pour ourselves a large gin to celebrate.
You two have been amazing. Thank you very much. Just a final look at this leaderboard. Don't forget, I told you at 1 o'clock that the branches, all of the branches involved, over 450 now, had to get out and about. And how many doors would they knock on by the end of business today? Cash prizes, £5,000 for first, 2,500 per second, 1,000 for that. Anybody who lives in St Helens deserves a medal. 1907, St Helens North leading, St Helens South 1,228, down to Pontefract 987, Montgomery 854, Blackpool North and Fleetwood coming in 829, Newport West and Alwyn 813. Listen, right, the winner will be chosen tomorrow and announced on the socials. £5,000. Can you catch St Helens North? You've seen all the interviews. Get out there, knock on the doors. Don't forget as well, if you are, and we so much appreciate your time watching, thinking, how can I get involved? Download that brand new Reform Go app. 5,500 people have done that in the last 2 hours. We'll be back here next Saturday with a new Wi-Fi system from 1 o'clock. Thank you for watching. That was the National Canvassing Day, Part 1, live from the top of the tower with Reform. We'll see you next Saturday from 1 o'clock. Ta-ra. See you then.